All right, let's talk about something that I know is on a lot of your minds. You're sitting at your desk, going through the motions, and thinking, there has to be something more than this. That dream of starting your own thing is so powerful, right? But then the fear kicks in, the fear of crashing and burning. Well, this explainer is your practical guide, your blueprint for making that dream happen. Not by taking some crazy leap of faith, but by building a solid, sturdy path forward.
In that quote, that's the heart of it all. Forget the dramatic quit your job and follow your passion advice you see everywhere. That's like jumping out of a plane without a parachute. We're talking about a smart, strategic, and calculated transition from employee to entrepreneur. It's about building a bridge, plank by plank, so that when it's finally time to walk across, you're not terrified, you're ready.
So when you think about it, you really have two choices. On one hand, you've got the leap of faith. It sounds romantic, right? But honestly, it's high risk, relies almost entirely on luck, and it's where most dreams go to die. On the other hand, you have what we're talking about today, the 5-phase bridge. This is all about minimizing that risk and seriously maximizing your shot at success because it's built on a plan, not just wishful thinking. So here's our game plan for today, our journey as the bridge builder. We're going to start with laying the foundation. Then we'll get into the grind of the parallel build. After that comes the big moment, crossing the bridge. And finally, we'll take a look at what life on the other side is actually like. Every section is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Okay, let's get into it. Phase 1, the incubation. Now here's the really clever part. All of this happens while you're still getting that steady paycheck. Your current job isn't a prison. Right now, it's your greatest asset. It's your safety net, and frankly, it's your first angel investor, funding this whole operation. You're going to use it to your advantage.
Now this is so important. So many people get this completely backward. You don't start with a brilliant product idea. No, you start by finding a real, painful problem that people are desperate to get rid of. Then you look inward and figure out your why. What's really driving you? And finally, the boring but absolutely critical part. You actually read your employment contract and check for any non-compete clauses. Don't skip that. And here it is. This is the golden question. Your ultimate test. When you're talking to people about the problem you think you found, you have to ask them this, point blank. If their eyes light up and they say, oh my God, yes, where do I sign up? You're onto something big. If they hesitate or say, yeah, that's kind of annoying, you're probably looking at a hobby, not a business. And let's be real for a second. This whole journey is a marathon, and it is full of rejection and things going wrong. Just hating your job is not enough fuel to get you through the tough times. It's just not enough gas in the tank. Your why, that deep down reason, whether it's freedom or building something for your family, that's the high-octane fuel that you will cling to when you feel like giving up.
All right, deep breath. We're moving into phase 2, the parallel build. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this is the hardest part. This is the grind. You are essentially working 2 full-time jobs. Your day job pays the bills, and your new venture, well, that's building your future. Your nights and weekends, they're not for Netflix anymore. But this is where the magic happens.
So what are you actually doing during this grind? It all boils down to 3 huge goals. First, you build and test your minimum viable product, your MVP. That's just the simplest, maybe even ugliest version of your solution that actually works. Second, you focus on generating real, consistent cash flow, not just one sale, but predictable money coming in. And third, you save like crazy to build that financial runway, what some people affectionately call the FU fund.
So how much cash are we talking about? Here's the magic number. You need enough cold hard cash saved up to cover all of your personal living expenses, rent, food, car, everything, for at least 6 to 12 months, with $0 coming in. This isn't just a safety net, it's a panic shield. It's what allows you to make smart business decisions instead of desperate ones. Okay, so that's your personal savings. But how do you know the business itself has legs? Here's your target. Your goal is for your side business to consistently bring in at least 25% of your current monthly salary. Once you hit that number, month after month, that's your green light. That's the market telling you loud and clear that you've got a real, viable business on your hands. You did it. You put in the work, you've got a product people will pay for, you've got cash flow, and you have that solid savings account. Guess what? It's time. It's time for phase 3. We are officially crossing the bridge. And no, this is not a dramatic I quit movie moment. This is a smooth, professional, planned operation. You give plenty of notice, more than 2 weeks if you can. You create a detailed handover plan so you don't leave your team in the lurch. You use this time to get all your legal and banking ducks in a row for the new business.
It's a calm, controlled process.
I cannot stress this enough. Do not burn bridges. How you leave is just as important as why you're leaving. The professional world is incredibly small. That manager you can't stand, in 2 years, they could be in a position to be your biggest client. A former colleague could send you a game-changing referral. Leaving with grace and professionalism is a strategic investment in your brand and your future.
And just like that, you're across. You made it. Welcome to life on the other side. You're a full-time entrepreneur. But the work isn't over, not by a long shot. Now we get into the final phases, the intense focus you need in your first year, and the critical mindset shift you have to make to actually survive and thrive long-term. Okay, look at this. This chart tells you everything you need to know about your first year in business. You have one boss, and its name is cash flow. 80%, 80, of your time and energy needs to be on sales and getting money in the door. Perfecting your logo, fiddling with your website colors, that's the 5%. Your main job, your only job, is to sell.
So what does your new job description look like? Number 1, you are the Chief Revenue Officer, period. Number 2, you are your own drill sergeant. That freedom you craved can be a trap. A strict schedule is your best friend. And number 3, and this is non-negotiable, find a mentor. Find someone who has already walked this path and can help you avoid the landmines.
And all of this leads to the final and maybe the most important phase. This one's internal. It's about rewiring your brain. The entrepreneurial mindset is a fundamental shift where you stop seeing failure as the end of the world. Instead, you see it for what it is, data. Rejection isn't personal. It's just feedback. It's all part of the process. This whole transformation really comes down to 2 things. First, you have to grow thick skin. I'm talking rhino-level thick. You are going to hear the word no more than you hear your own name, and you have to learn to let it fuel you, not crush you. Second, you have to become obsessed with learning. The second you think you know it all is the second your business starts to die.
So there it is, the whole blueprint, from that daydream at your desk all the way to being your own boss. This isn't theory, it's a series of real, actionable steps. The only thing left to do now is to start building. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the very first, smallest plank of your bridge that you can put in place tonight?